I'm Casey Neese, and I am a pre-junior in fashion design at DAP, and I like Harry Potter.
Okay, what first got you interested in Harry Potter?
I first started reading the books when they first came out with my parents, and I don't know, I wanted to be a character. I just thought it was so cool, and it was just a whole different world, and everyone says books are an escape, and that was one of the biggest ones for me. It was Harry Potter. So,
What do you mean by be a character?
I wanted to be at Hogwarts. When I was 11, I was really disappointed I didn't get my letter. I was hoping there was one coming for me, but I just thought that they stood for the characters in Harry Potter were something greater than what I was used to, and I wanted to be special like them, I guess.
So what about Hogwarts was really interesting to you?
Just the elements of it, just magic, I guess. Everything was just magical and different, and everyone was kind of thrown together there for a cause, and I just think the atmosphere was cool and how they interacted with each other, and everything that they learned seemed more interesting than what I was learning at the time. I'd rather be in potions class than algebra. So, yeah, I don't know, just that, I guess.
How many of the books or movies have you read and seen?
All of them. I was that kid that went to the midnight release of the books and got it and locked myself in my bedroom until I was finished, just in case anybody finished before me and needed to talk about it. There was no stopping for me. And I've seen all the movies. I'm more of a book fan than a movie fan, for sure. I think that the movies have left out a lot of plot that should not have been left out. But I did go to almost all of the midnight movie premieres as well. So.
Did you do anything for the movies, like dress up or go with a group of people who also like Harry Potter?
Yeah, we a couple of my friends and I went to the 6th movie premiere. That was the first time I think I dressed up for it, actually. But a bunch of my friends and I decided we were going to dress up, and I was the only one that picked a character. A lot of them just kind of wore robes and looked like students, but I decided to be Moaning Myrtle and wore a Ravenclaw robe and little teardrops on my face. And yeah, that was the first time I ever picked a character to be. And then for the 7th movie, part 1, I dressed up. I did not get to for part 2 because I came from work in New York when I went to that. But part 1, I dressed up as Hermione, and my redhead friend went as Ron, and my brown-haired friend went as Harry. And we all had wands from Toys R Us that interacted with each other. So, yeah, that definitely made things more exciting, too.
What about dressing up and acting as another character is really exciting for you? What made you want to do that in the first place?
Just to do it. I mean, I'm that big of a diehard fan, I guess, that I'm not fazed by, what people would think of me in public, I mean, there's other people doing it, too, and I just, think it's cool to take on the persona of someone else, and being Harry Potter has always been clearly something that I wanted to do, so yeah, just made me feel a little magical for a minute.
Are there any extracurricular activities you participate in that are revolving around Harry Potter? We've talked to people before who are interested in Quidditch or Wizard Rock, or is there anything extra that you've done to show your love for Harry Potter?
Not currently. I haven't really done anything like that in a while. But back in the day, I was on a couple of the forums that I was pretty active on, just talking about Harry Potter and blogging, and then doing that whole Harry Potter role play persona thing where you kind of create a character and then act out that character as if they were actually at Hogwarts. I was big into that in probably middle school days. But yeah, so not so much recently, but definitely in the past I have. But
can you tell me more about the character you created?
Yeah. The whole forum I was on was kind of I stumbled upon it just one night, like I said, I'm obsessed with Harry Potter. I don't remember what exactly I was Googling, but I stumbled upon this forum, and it was just a bunch of fanatics like me who you create a username that is your character, and you kind of just develop a persona, pick an avatar, whoever or a celebrity to play your character basically, and you just kind of build your character's persona from there, and you start out by like making a profile about the character, like including like their past, like their family history, what they like, what they're good at, what they're not good at. So actually, I had several characters. I think my most prominent though was kind of my dream being lived out, like the extension of myself as if I were at Hogwarts. Her name was Casey, and she was in Gryffindor. And they actually have an interactive thing that will sort you onto there based on like your interests and what you like and to which house you'd be in. So I was actually in Gryffindor, and I was active on that forum for like at least 2 years, and my character became captain of the Quidditch team in her 4th year. She was a keeper, and I don't know, it was a fun way to, like, as nerdy as it is, meet people, too, because there was other people. You would obviously write a pair. It's also a good way to develop writing skills, I will say that. You kind of write out a story, and people play along in that story with you. And it's like you write your bit, and then someone else will reply to that with what their character is doing in response to what you're doing, and then it just continues, and there's always added drama and, just day-to-day life, so that was fun. I enjoyed it.
When you say it's a good way to meet people, do you mean that you meet people in real life, or do you...
Oh, no, I just mean, like, I don't even think any of these people knew my, like, real full name. They just knew my character as Casey, but, it was just... It like finding other people who share my nerdy obsession, I guess, and are willing to take it to that level. So, I mean, it was cool. Yeah, you definitely, and there was a lot of different people from like different countries on these places, and like it's just a cool like mix, I guess. And like I said, you get to know people through their characters and like by writing with them, and I think it's a good way to develop like if you're into something like that. It doesn't have to be Harry Potter. It could be like Lord of the Rings or just some other fantasy, or it doesn't even have to be fantasy. Just anything you're into. It's a really good way to develop yourself as like a writer and meet and interact with people and get feedback. So.
If you do meet somebody in real life and then you find out that they secretly have like strong feelings for the Harry Potter books, does that make them seem like a stronger friend to you?
I mean, I wouldn't say stronger friend, but it's definitely like
a common interest.
Yeah, a common interest. I keep it under wraps. I'm not one of those like weirdos that walks around with a wand all the time. But if somebody's like, oh yeah, I really loved Harry Potter, I'm like, oh my god, me too. Like, I used to do this, this, and this. And like, yeah, I mean, I was like, I feel like it was embarrassing at first, being like, oh my god, I'm on these Harry Potter roleplay forums, and I want to be Harry Potter, blah blah blah, because like everyone, but I don't know. It does make people. It's something to talk about, so that's good. It's a good common denominator with people, and yeah.
Can you give me a taste of what kind of writings that you've done, or like stories that you've come up with for the fan fictions?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. They're not really fan fictions necessarily. It's more of
like a self
thing. But I don't know. You start out by like posting an intro to a topic, and like you can have an idea of where you want it to go, but then based on who like replies back with you is how you get to that point. But like I don't know. The forum I was on, the main one, was developed. Like there was a place obviously to talk about like Harry Potter itself and like why you liked it so much and like just that kind of thing. But then there was like actual Hogwarts itself, and you could post a topic in the Allery, for example, and whatever your character is doing up there, like I remember one time posting one about how my character was writing a letter home, and there was some sort of drama going on in her life that had her physically upset, and she was in the Allery by herself, which led that was my post, the first starting one, which leads someone else to come, their character comes up the stairs and sees my character. And what happens with that interaction, and why is she upset, and why has it gotten to this point? Like, was it because, Death Eaters, or was it like a more personal thing? Does it like have to do, it's kind of like you just build off each other. There's really no clear direction of where anything's going to go. I wish I had an example to read you, because that would be a lot easier. But
can you give me like maybe a link or something to something you've written, and I can put it on the blog?
If I can find it. I have to do some searching, because it's been quite a while since I've been on any of those places. But I could probably give you a link to like one of my character profiles. That'd be easier to find.
Okay.
But yeah.
Is there any reason in particular that you think personifying this Harry Potter fantasy particularly versus maybe other fantasies that you've heard of?
Well, for me personally, it's Harry Potter's about the only thing I've really gotten into. Like, I wasn't. I don't know. I tried reading like a lot of the other books, like Lord of the Rings, and I know like Twilight and all that. Like, it never really sparked my interest as much as Harry Potter. I'm not really sure why. I think it's just more. I feel like I could relate to the characters on a more personal level, and I liked what they did better. And it just, I don't know. But yeah, I don't. I think that it's valid throughout the board. Like whatever you're into, you could definitely. I guarantee you, there's something out there for you if you're into like the Hunger Games, for example, is big now. I'm sure there's some like sort of role playing revolving around the Hunger Games. Like, yeah, there's something for everyone. I remember seeing when I was out there, like doing it on the internet too, like something to do with like a big city, like or acting school. Like if you want to pretend it's a good way to get your brain somewhere else. And it's like if you're interested in fiction writing and doing that, that's what I think like is the most valid thing about role playing. For example, like Harry Potter, it tunes your brain into that way that you might not otherwise think. So there's something out there for everyone. But
When you're personifying somebody or you're writing about yourself in Hogwarts, is there a special kind of language that you use?
Well, everything's done in. I write it as though there was different people that wrote different ways on there, and which, like I said, it's a good way to see a variety of writing. But I always wrote in third person using like Casey did this or whatever, and like just very descriptive and languid and like trying to think of. I don't know. I try and like when I would do it, it was including everything in the situation that you would want to include, or I tried to write it as though. I mean, I was J.K. Rowling because it was Harry Potter, and I was like, I want it to be real, or as like true to that as possible. So yeah.
Did you use any of the language that the books use, such as like Muggles or knowing different characters' names or different kinds of candies and everything?
Yeah, definitely. I remember there was a Hogsmeade section of the forum too, so you could go there, and they had all the different like places. They had Ollivanders, like the Hogshead. There was you could go